Africa faces existential threats from multifaceted security challenges, including armed political conflict, terrorism, militancy, sea piracy, and banditry. To combat these threats to regional peace and security on the continent, the chiefs of defense staff and representatives of the armed forces from 54 African countries converged on Abuja, Nigeria's capital, for the Maiden African Chiefs of Defense Staff Summit. Vice President Kashim Shettima is representing President Bola Tinubu at the event, which also attracts former Nigeria security chiefs, past and present lawmakers, diplomats, and international development partners. The focus of the summit is on strengthening strategic defense collaboration.
The threats of today are no longer confined to conventional warfare. They are digital, asymmetric, and often invisible. The enemy is within. As chiefs of defense staff and heads of our armed forces, we must lead the charge in modernizing our forces, investing in cyber defense, artificial intelligence, and indigenous military technology, without which it will be difficult for us to achieve our security.
The ECOWAS Commission announces some interventions it is making, including a 260,000 rapid deployment counter-force.
While ECOWAS remains firmly committed to raising its 5,000-man brigade under the auspices of the African Peace and Security Architecture, and more particularly the Continental Standby Force, the activation of this rapid deployment force has become a necessity given the asymmetric security dynamics in the region.
The keynote speaker and United Nations Deputy Secretary General, Mrs. Amina Mohammed, says Africa is not a bystander in global security, as she calls for collaboration in digital security infrastructure.
We need the right tools and mapping in place to plan and to drive strategy at scale, reinforcing the Accra Initiative, the ECOWAS Standby Force, and giving the Joint Threat Fusion and Analysis Cell the support it needs to ensure data become decisions. The same applies at sea, joint patrols that make the Yaoundé architecture real protection for people and infrastructure. And innovation must be part of our defense, collaborating on AI from drones to cyber tools, and building on African Union's AI strategy can help us to set common standards to keep technology serving people.
She emphasizes strong institutions and democracy that focus on building the people.
We know that every additional year of schooling reduces the likelihood of a young person joining armed groups by up to 13%. This evidence begs the question, how do we invest in peace? Is it just military spending? Is it development spending? Is it both? That is a discussion that we will need to have in this room and beyond. And it means tackling root causes. It means democracy that is robust and representative, not on constitutional changes dressed up as solutions. While this might seem legitimate in many eyes, in the longer term, democracy and by extension security will be weakened. Instead, strong institutions underpinned by strong democracies and strong security apparatus are the safeguard against instability.
For Vice President Kashim Shettima, who represents President Bola Tinubu at the event, Africa must stand united in fighting its common enemies.
What is true of our challenges must also be true of our resolve. We cannot neutralize these threats in isolation. This is the moment to reassess our military objectives in the collective aspirations to make Africa safe. It is time to forge a new doctrine of continental defense, one rooted in trust, shared intelligence, and coordinated strategy. Nigeria's promise has always been simple and firm: to be a good neighbor and a brother's keeper in the struggle for peace. Our armed forces have stood shoulder to shoulder with our neighbors and far beyond in peacekeeping missions, counter-terrorism operations, and humanitarian endeavors. We hold no illusion. Security is the foundation upon which the edifice of progress must stand.
Over the next 3 days, 5 panel sessions are expected to hold with different speakers who will address different areas of security, including border management and regional security in Africa, the imperative of strategic defense collaboration in combating terrorism, as well as leveraging artificial intelligence for regional security in Africa. From the Bola Ahmed International Conference Center, Abuja, Emperor Simon, Channels Television News.